My life has been chaotic. My family broke out into another fit of drama, so I left the nest, ran straight to college, and got an apartment and a job. But lately, my job at a greasy spoon diner has been unbearable. The job doesn't pay the best, so that meant I had to find a roommate to afford an apartment. And now, my roommate is always bringing some dropout into our apartment for late night study sessions. My sleep schedule is wrecked, and even better, the rent on the apartment is late. I had heard once that if you become a roommate with a friend, you won't stay friends for long. In my case, the friendship gets strained thinner as my friend keeps making excuses why they need me to cover their half of the rent. Thanks to that deadbeat, I'm working harder just to lose money on the rent. I'm nearly broke, and getting a second job feels like it will kill me. At least in this park, I have some alone time. I've always loved this part of the park. It's untouched by obnoxious family members and college jerks. The only people who come here are the groundskeepers. Even then, they only come by in the morning. Closing my eyes, I rub my face and huff out the tension in my lungs so that I could calm down enough to enjoy the peace and quiet. Just then, I feel someone sit down beside me. Startled, I turn and look towards the interloper.
Whoa, hey, take it easy. It's just me.
Who are you? I don't know you, you're a stranger. The stranger says, trying to keep me from leaping too high off the park bench.
You're a jumpy one, ain't ya?
Oh, you just sat next to me out of nowhere and started talking. He smiles and scoots himself closer to me, shyly and awkwardly. Oh no. No. We will not be doing this. No. Guys, don't do this. Men out there, don't do this. I keep my eyes on him, unsure what his intentions are. His unblinking eyes don't stray from mine. Not once. Ooh, no, creepy. So, are you waiting for a family member or a friend? It just seems kind of odd for you to be sitting here all alone like this and so far away from the jogging track. Oh my gosh. Yup, exactly. A chill runs down my spine. I cross my arm over my chest and slide myself away from him and closer to the edge of the bench. How often does a sane person walk up to you out of the blue and start asking such questions? Not often, for me at least. He picks up on my unease and refrains from sliding any closer. He crosses his fingers in between his legs and smiles warmly. I mean, you don't look like a groundskeeper or one of the old people feeding pigeons after doing Tai Chi. No, I'm just getting some alone time to myself. Things have been pretty intense lately. He scoots himself even closer, his hand nearly touching mine as he smiles shyly.
Look, I know this is sudden, very sudden, but may I have the pleasure in taking you out to dinner?
Can I have the pleasure? Never mind, he was the weird one. I can't tell if he's a bit awkward or just eccentric. What? Why? Why did he have such an interest in me?
Well, I'm your boyfriend.
Excuse you? No, you're not.
Isn't that why you're here?
What? My boyfriend? Why would he be assuming we were in a relationship? There is an awkward silence as the stranger sits, patiently waiting for an answer. For my answer. No. No! What? No! I pull my hand away from his. I thought that I would normally try to at least attempt to be polite when I turn down someone's advance, but the stranger's presumptuousness makes my skin crawl. He sits there for a moment with a firm stare before pulling his hand away in a reluctant retreat. Oh, I see. I think that I'm getting mixed messages from you just got here, dude. I mean, it doesn't make much sense for you to come here and then not want me. I stand up from the bench and turn to leave. Hopefully I can get back to the more frequented parts of the park before any other creeps crawl out from under the rocks and bushes. Oh, we're dead. Where are you going? He stares back at me from the bench, but I can't read his expression. It is a tempest of mixed emotions, and none of them are as positive or playfully awkward as when I first met him. Those are crazy eyes. It's getting late. I'm going to head home. I lied. I glanced over my shoulder to find the nearest path out of the park and to the nearest public street. Oh, well, maybe I can walk you home then. No, thank you. Look, it's nothing personal, but you're coming off as kind of creepy. I'm not really that comfortable around you. He rubs his arm awkwardly. Creepy, but I love... Sorry, I have to go. I cut him off and start walking away, occasionally looking over my shoulder. I don't want him creeping up on me while my back was turned. He never moves, just sits there with a forlorn look on his face and stares quietly at the ground. That was so scary. I wander around the city a little bit more, visiting places I normally wouldn't visit. Yeah, after things like that, ladies, you do not go home, because you could be followed. Ugh, my paranoia has got me looking over my shoulder, wondering if he might still be lurking somewhere behind me. I don't know, maybe I'm... No, you're not overthinking. If you feel uncomfortable, this is what you do. You go somewhere else, you don't go home. But who knows, some guy who presumes that he's your boyfriend before either of you even know each other's names is probably not the most psychologically healthiest of people, are they? Yeah, that's creepy enough to warrant him my cold shoulder. Still, the way I left him behind like that was making me feel like maybe I was a jerk. I mean, yes, but then at the same time, he's on scooting over. You know what he's gonna do? Oh, it's so creepy. I come across a local florist shop that I remember passing on a few of my downtown walks. I've always been meaning to stop in and pick up some flowers for the apartment, but I could never seem to find the time. Well, I have the time now, and I could use a diversion, so why not? I like flowers too. Walking in, I look around and take in the rather pleasant aroma of the shop. I wander past the quaint displays of flower arrangements, potted plants, and small gift bags of potpourri. Potpourri. I had a particular purchase in mind. Oh, what's that? A fern? From a rustic wooden shelf display containing the flowers and various houseplants come a lovely pungent fragrance from the deep red roses. Being mindful that some still had their thorns, I reach out to pick one up. Oh gosh, real. I feel a hand brush against mine. I pull my hand away quickly and glance at the person that I didn't see on the other side of the display. Oh, fancy seeing you here. You followed us. The man from the park beams upon seeing me and gives me a smile before pulling the rose out. I didn't know you shopped here too. I don't. I say, startled by his presence. The man then gestures me with a finger over his lips. Shh, it's a small shop. There's no need to raise your voice. His comment rubs me the wrong way, but I try to compose myself. Did you follow me here? I whisper harshly, unsure if crossing paths with him again was a pure coincidence or if I needed to worry about him after all. What? Of course not. He looks a little hurt by my accusation. I come here almost every day, you know. Uh-oh, was I really being a dick to him? He fumbles around with the rose in his hand, but his eyes stay shyly focused on the ground. I love flowers. This little shop is the only one nearby, so I come here a lot to see what new bouquets they have made and if they have any on sale. I'll admit that sometimes I get a glimpse of you through the windows. What? I'll admit that sometimes I get a glimpse of you through the windows of the diner that you work at, and lately I've been meaning to walk in to finally say hi, but I lose my nerves and stay out. Yeah, you've been watching me? Are you serious? What kind of creep are you? But it's not like that. He reaches his hand towards my shoulder in an attempt to console and calm me down. Not wanting his greasy, grubby hands anywhere on me, I flinch away in shock and disgust. Don't touch me! I hiss at him, and then turn and storm out of the florist shop. I don't look back. So the approach of this guy was very wrong because he shouldn't have assumed he was my boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he would not have done that, maybe perhaps our character that we're playing would be different. But this is not the way to approach a girl. You don't do this. Yeah, we're leaving you. But we're not going home. Please do not go home. It's finally getting... Oh god, it's dark. It's finally getting dark out. Ugh, I hate walking home at night, and after crossing paths with a crazy stalker, I have a good reason for it. And now I'm out later than I want because I was trying to take a longer, less traveled path home, just in case that creepy guy knew more about my habits. Shit, I need to find new places to hang out at and probably a new job. I storm into the apartment and slam the door behind me before doing another full body shudder. I hear the rummaging sound of my roommate and the study partner in the kitchen come to an abrupt silence after I unceremoniously arrive home. I race by to my bedroom. They have a habit of walking around naked after their study sessions, and I don't even want to see if they were dressed this time. In my room, I flop down on my bed and muffle a frustrated scream with my pillow. After a moment, I roll over on my back and stare up at the ceiling, trying to forget about my day, trying to forget about him. Before I fall asleep from sheer exhaustion, my last thought was a simple wish. Man, I hope I never see that weirdo again. I think we're gonna see him again. Oh my god, was that him in the window? End of day 1. That was crazy. Okay, let's restart and we're going to be nice to him. Here we go.
Whoa, hey, take it easy. It's just me. Jumpy one, ain't ya? Look, I know this is sudden, very sudden, but may I have the pleasure in taking you out to dinner?
Okay, we're going to say yes to him this time. Okay, dinner sounds nice. I guess. It's not like I'm doing anything anyways, and it would be a nice break from the monotony. God knows I can stand to forget my problems for a few hours, and this guy seems interesting enough to keep my mind off things. Really? That's great. He beams, taking hold of my hand into his own. I'll see you tonight at 7. He was about to stand up from the bench, but paused abruptly when he realizes that he was forgetting something. Oh, I almost forgot. We need a place to meet up, sorry. I know that I sound absent-minded, but I'm just so excited. How about that old diner downtown? It's nice and quiet so no one will disturb us. The diner downtown? Which one? You know, the one you work at. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Great, see you tonight. Just like that, and just like that, he hurries off with a leap in every step, looking as though he had just won the lottery. I watch him as he disappears down a path that bends around a shallow hill and out of view. The park was quiet again, and the serene loneliness sets in once more. It's just me and a few songbirds singing in the nearby tree. I sit for a while, replaying the strange encounter in my head a few times. I suppose I should be flattered that he took such an interest in me. I can't tell if meeting someone like that is normal or not. It's nothing like I've seen in movies or television. But then again, if I were Hollywood attractive, maybe it would be so normal that it would be almost annoying? I feel my cheeks flush as I think about him saying, "Can I have the pleasure?" A shy smile creeps from the corners of my mouth. He must be as new to this as I am. What a shy, awkward guy. The bird stops singing as I feel a knot grow in the pit of my stomach. How did he know where I work? Oh, it's our date, 7 p.m. I show up at the diner, feeling rather unusual about meeting someone at the place that I work at for a completely spontaneous dinner date. And with a complete stranger who knew that I worked here. Weird. I take a seat at a booth towards the back. The diner isn't very busy tonight, which is less unusual than most people would assume. Even though I work here, this isn't where I would choose to eat at. Maybe he was another customer that I had never paid attention to? While I work, I let my mind drift, and after a while I do my job as I were on autopilot. I don't really pay that much attention to names and faces, even towards regulars. Maybe he was one of those regulars, building up his courage to ask me out every day but kept losing his nerve. It's kind of a cute thought, but do I really want this to be a thing? Taking my seat, I wait. I look at the old-fashioned neon light clock that hangs over the jukebox. He is 5 minutes late. Might as well buy myself a milkshake while I wait. The waitress on tonight's shift is surprised to see me at the diner on my day off. I imagine that she will tell me, job loyalty is one thing, but the food here isn't worth writing home about. After serving this stuff for a few months now, I agree with her. But at least the milkshakes are good. They are the really old-fashioned kind made with real ice cream and ingredients, and not the powdered mix and flavored syrups like the fast food places. The waitress must have been less busy than I assumed because she brought my shake to me only a few minutes later. I pull the spoon from the vintage-looking ice cream glass and lick it clean. Okay, I think he was looking at that. So good. I stir at the shake a little before I take a sip. A man rushes in through the diner's front doors. He looks like he ran the whole way here with something tucked carefully in his arm. I immediately recognize his sleeveless hoodie and blue shirt. He quickly scanned the diner in a bit of a panic. He was running late and probably thought that I may have left already. That I may have already left. I was one of the few people in the diner, but he still didn't seem to see me very quickly. I wave him over. A smile of relief spreads across his face. Still winded, he hurries down the rows of booths and sits across from me. You're late. I know. I'm so sorry. I had to make a quick stop. He speaks between breaths. I don't know where he came from, but he must have ran the whole way when he realized that he was running late. Giving a timid smile, he pulls out the long white box that he was carrying. He places it on the table and slides it over to me. Here, I bought this for you. Thinking about earlier today in the park, it might have been a little creepy to ask you for a date on the spot. I thought I might get you a little something as a way of apologizing. If it was awkward for you, of course. Heck yeah, it was. He got something for me? Really? It had better not be a severed ear, or fingers, or something. Opening the box, I look inside. I see 2 long stem roses with deep red petals. The thorns were removed and they were bound by a shimmery black silk ribbon. Oh, they're lovely, thank you. He smiles as I take the roses out of the box gently as if the thorns were still on the stems. I draw the aroma in deeply. They are so wonderfully fresh and fragrant. It's no bouquet or anything, but I thought that they looked nice. He watches me admire his gift. They're very nice, thank you. I place the roses gently back in their box. He can't possibly grin any wider. He realizes that he is staring at me, maybe just as little too long for comfort, as he reverts his eyes shyly. But there were a few nagging questions that had been hanging over me like a storm cloud. And while he was in a good mood, I figured that I should inquire a little about his cute but bizarre stranger. Dinner in a greasy spoon diner with a stranger carrying a box of roses didn't seem ordinary, and I had to make sure that he wasn't going to propose at the cash register. I stirred the milkshake with the straw for a second or two. So, how did you know that I work here? Oh, well, I walk by this place rather often on my walks. I catch glimpses of you through the window from time to time when you're working. I tried coming in, but I get cold feet and just keep walking. Like a loser. Aww, I feel bad for him. He glares down at the table shamefully. I reach over and give his hand a reassuring pat. No, you're not a loser. Do you know what? I don't even know your name. My name? The smile on his face fades to a slight grimace before his gaze drifts off to the side. What's with that face? I really don't like my name. Honestly, I'd rather be called something else, like a nickname or something. Ugh. He must have a really horrible name or really horrible parents that he wants to disassociate with. No, that's kind of weird. We need to know his real name. Okay, how about... We'll call him Blue because of his blue shirt. How about Blue? He seemed pleased with what I came up despite how silly or tacky it may have been. Yeah, that's much better. Honestly, thank you. I reassure him and give his hand another gentle squeeze. The expression of disgust instantly evaporates into delight over the name I gave him. Wow, I didn't realize until now, but he has some really beautiful blue eyes. The vivid color left me taking in their deep blue hue, and I didn't realize that I was staring until he spoke up. Are we having a moment or what? A blush spreads across his cheeks as he squeezes my hand back. Sorry. I pull my hand from his, cursing myself for staring like that. Wow, now I'm the awkward one. I look away shyly. I can feel the heat radiating from my cheeks, and I imagine them glowing bright red like a Christmas light. The thought makes my cheeks warmer and probably even more red. He chuckles and shakes his head. Hey, there's nothing to be sorry for. He reassures me with a soft smile. He looks around for something to break the tension, and his eyes fall upon my milkshake. Hey, I was supposed to buy you something. Well, you kind of already did. I point to the box of roses. Besides, we could share this just as long as I get the cherry. Deal? I scoot the milkshake towards him. He looks to the side, reaching over to take it. Man, our first date and you're the one buying? I'm very terrible at this. Well, how about you buy next time? His eyes go wide and he stares at me with surprise. Next time? You want to meet up again? Well, this wasn't a total disaster, right? So yeah. His face glows as red as I imagined mine had, and he stammers wildly as all of his thoughts unexpectedly evaporate in an explosion of joy. I mean, I guess it wasn't. I don't think so, but I don't want to argue with you. It was cute seeing him struggle for a coherent thought while also trying to contain his happiness. His happiness of being with me of all people. Still, as much as I was enjoying his company and regardless of how flattering it has been, I couldn't stay long. I look out the window in a bit of an exaggerated way in order to get his attention. It's getting dark. I don't like walking home late at night. How about we continue this on our next date? Standing up from my seat, I pull out one of the napkins from the dispenser. Do you have a pen? Oh, I think I do. He pulls one from his pocket and hands it to me. I write down my name and number and smiling, pass the pen and napkin back to him. Here, call me and we can hang out again soon, okay? Taking pen and napkin from my hand, he gazes down at the number in complete awe before looking back up at me.
Of course.
I'd love to see you again. I walk to the register, pay for the shake, and with another quick look back at him, I wave and leave the diner. I walk more quickly to try to make it back to the apartment before nightfall. It gets colder outside, but for some reason, I feel warm the whole walk back. Warm? Once I'm finally back in my apartment, I quietly walk to my room so that I don't disturb my roommate. Judging by the thumping and moaning sounds coming from the other side of the wall, they seem to be having another study session. Fuck, I wish that they would be more quiet. I have to live here too. I don't bother to turn on the lights in my room and flop heavily on my bed, face first into the mattress, limbs spread wide. Letting out a long, loud groan that made the couple next door pause for a brief moment, I eventually roll onto my back and stare up at the ceiling. Despite having so many other things on my mind earlier, my thoughts never stray far from Blue. Looking over to the box that was still in my hand, I open it one more time. I pull out the bundle of roses and, smiling a little, draw in their sweet fragrance again. I hope he calls soon. Oh, yeah, he's at the window.